Good morning, Eagle Creek members. Welcome to this restorative class of mine. This class is exactly what it does. It's called Restorative, and it is to restore and cultivate the skill to consciously relax anytime you need to. Sometimes we have a hard time relaxing. During the course of this class, we'll be in some poses for some considerable length of time, and I always like to know the why behind why we stay in certain poses for a long time, and the why usually has to do somewhat with the science. So all of our joints in our body have what we call a synovial membrane, and in that synovial membrane there's what we call synovial fluid. And so when we stay into a pose for a long time, it's kind of a positive way of talking about stress, because just adding a little bit of stress to a joint actually allows the synovial fluid to be released, allowing your joint to have more mobility and fluidity when you begin to move. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get all of our joints into a very comfortable, settling position to start with in child's pose. So I have some props here. You don't need to use the props, but if you have some, they might help. And a blanket, a thick blanket, at times we'll be using that as well. So let us start in child's pose. Child's pose is a very good way to start because all of our joints are going to be into a nice, heavy, relaxed pose. You can use your blanket for your knees if you have, but bring your knees a little wider than your hips. Bring your big toes to touch and allow your sit bones to just settle back towards your heels. Allow your arms and hands to be heavy on your mat. Allow your forehead to come onto a block or your mat, whatever it comes to. Let it come to something, a nice firm surface, so you can feel the heaviness of your hips, your sit bones coming back towards your heels. Maybe feel your diaphragm expanding. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to your breath. If you start to have thoughts pop in, that's fine. Just wave them goodbye, let them go, because they will be there. And then bring your attention back to your breath. Slowly even out the depth of the inhale. Maybe a pause in the transition to your exhale. Your eye sockets to be soft, your jaw to be soft. Maybe roll your forehead to the right and then to the left, reducing any tension you may have there. Maybe move your hips to the right, to the left. Find some stillness. If you're starting to lighten up and not feel anything, just maybe move some part of your body, maybe your hands, reach about a little further to increase the stretch in the lower back and also on the side body. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 you're not feeling anything, 10 can be painful. So we're looking for like maybe a 3 or 4. When you start to go back to 1, which is not feeling anything, just move a little longer. Reach a little further with your hands. Maybe allow your sit bones to come back just a little bit more. And then back to your breath. And slowly take a deep breath in, fill up all the way. As you exhale, slowly begin to rise up into all fours. Maybe bring your towel, if you have a blanket, up to the front of your mat here. We're going to come down onto our forearms, palms facing up. Walk your knees back, allow your pelvis to come down. Now your lower back's being compressed just a little bit in the opposite pose you were just in, child's pose. So if it's a little bit too much, you can lower your head down, or you can bring your arms together and allow your forehead to come down to rest on your forearms. Just remember that scale of 1 to 10. We want to be around a 3 or 4. So if you're not feeling your lower back in this position, just come up onto your elbows. Turn your palms up. And if you are on your elbows, just take a peek down to see that they're directly under your shoulders for full bone-on joint support. And even in this pose, which is a cobra pose, if you're not sensing any compression in your lower back, you can bring a foot up or two. That just adds a little bit more compression in the lower back, getting that synovial membrane to release some synovial fluid. If your feet are up, bring one down at a time. And bring your palms to your mat. Lower your head down onto your mat. Bring your right cheek onto your blanket or your mat. Take your arms out to a T. Give your neck a nice opening. Continue bringing your attention to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your diaphragm. And slowly slide your left hand into your armpit. Just hold it there with your left elbow up. We are going to press into the left hand. But before we do, if you have any issues with your right shoulder, you're going to make an adjustment right now. Your right arm is out level with your shoulder at the moment, but if it is if there's a lot of tightness, the lower you bring your right hand to your right hip, the less stress you're going to feel in your shoulder joint, because we're going to roll over onto our right shoulder, pressing into your left palm. Bend the knees, and bring the left hand up on your left hip. Now that scale of 1 to 10 on your right shoulder is going to be equivalent to where your right hand is. If it's level with your shoulder, it's going to be maximizing. If you lower it down towards your right hip, it'll alleviate if it's too much for you. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale slowly, bring your left hand back to your mat. Roll onto your stomach. And bring your left cheek on your mat. Extend your left arm out. And slide your right hand in. And roll over onto your left side, bending your knees. Stack your knees on top of each other. Again, you can see my left arm really well right now. You couldn't see my right arm, but the lower I bring it, the less stress I'll have on my shoulder joint. But if you can keep it right up there, you're getting a big opening in your shoulder girdle area. The only reason I'm not resting the left side of my head on here because I have this microphone, otherwise you'd want to let it rest. And you bring your right hand onto your right hip. Take a deep breath in. Slowly bring your right hand down to your mat. Slide your left hand down and come up onto all fours for just a moment here into table. In table, we want to have our shoulders over our wrist, our hips over our knees. Just going to do a few cat-cows here to just get the mid part of our back loosened up before we go into our next pose. So allow your belly to come down, allow your chin to come up as you inhale. And then as you begin to exhale, draw the pit of your belly up and in to your spine. Shift your eyes to your knees. Pause. Inhale. Bring your belly down. Bring your eyes up. Exhale. Draw your belly up and in, giving your mid-spine a nice stretch there. Begin to slide your hands out, extending your arms. Allow your forehead to come down onto your mat into puppy pose. We call this, if you have a dog, in the morning just before they're ready to go for a walk. Opening the tops of your shoulders, Spread your fingers wide. If your forehead doesn't come to rest on your mat, just use something, a blanket or a block if you have one. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly begin to slide your hands back in towards table and come onto our sit bones. Bring the bottoms of your feet together. Let your knees fall open. And again, if you have blocks, you can place them under your knees for support. This is called butterfly. Roll your upper arm bones back slightly just to give yourself a nice long spine from the crown of your head right down to your sit bones. When you feel like you're sitting as tall as you can, begin to walk your fingers on your knees, down your shins, towards your feet, allowing your torso to drop towards your feet. Continue to fold. And when you stop folding forward, release your hands, let your palms face up. Allow your forearms to be resting, elbows resting. Allow the heaviness of your head to drop between your legs. You should be feeling some kind of sensations just where your mid-back meets your lower back, or anywhere in that area. If you feel like there's any kind of resistance or tension, just take a deep inhale, breathe into that area. Begin to fill up. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, begin to walk your hands back onto your ankles, shins, knees, and bring your hands behind you with your fingers facing away from the top of your mat. Bring your legs out long. Allow your chin to come up just to counter that butterfly pose. Maybe bring your belly, the pit of your belly forward. And then come back to neutral. Let's take the bottom of our right foot and bring it in as close towards your inner thigh as you can of your left leg. Bring your upper arm bones up and back. Spider your fingers on your mat. Keeping your spine long, begin to walk your fingers towards your left foot as the crown of your head comes lower. When it can't go any further, allow your arms to drop. So you can't see my right leg, but I'm bringing that right foot right in, up towards my sit bone. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bring your spider fingers back to your mat. Walk them back in towards your sit bones. Bring the shoulders up long, up high, and back, and then just give yourself a counter on that. And we'll switch sides. We'll bring the left foot in. Let's get our spine long. And bring your hands on either side of your right leg. Begin to walk them out. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, begin to walk your hands slowly back up to neutral and bring both legs around to the front. Now, if you hopefully have a blanket, you can use a towel even, or a pillow or bolster if you have one of those, or a block. I'm just going to double up this blanket here. I'm going to place it right at the base of my back, bringing my sacrum right up on top of it. So you could use a block, you can use a blanket, a towel. Bolster might be a little too big for this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our palms up together and just, if you have a block here actually, if your hands don't come down to the floor, you can bring a block into your hands and just hold it and allow the block to come to rest behind the top of your head, giving you a nice upper body stretch. Now from here, both knees bent, bottoms of your feet on your mat, we're going to walk both feet over to your right. They can't go any further. Extend both legs straight out. See if you can keep them somewhat close together. And then bring your right ankle on top of your left. So you're going to feel a little bit of an open space on your left side body. And if it's available, begin to bring both of your hands over to your right. Slide them over there. So it's kind of like a crescent moon on your back with a prop under your sacrum. Keep your eyes closed. Breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. Again, why do we do that? Well, when you breathe through your nose instead of your mouth, it delivers oxygen all the way down to the bottom of your lungs instead of just the top half. Hence the shallow breathing. It comes from just breathing through your mouth, where breathing through your nose creates deep breathing. Begin to slide both your hands back to the center and take your right ankle from the top of your left, bend both knees, walk your feet in, and then walk them back to center, keeping your breath even. Then begin to walk both your feet over to your left. When you can't walk them any further, extend both legs out, keeping them close together because you want to rest your left ankle on top of your right. Then begin to move both hands with your block or without over to your left. Creating some space on your right side body. Maybe discovering some space. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, move both your hands back to center. Take your left ankle off your right. Walk your heels into your sit bone. Let's come back to neutral. Keep your arms up long. Then slowly begin to walk both feet out into a nice full body extension. And bring your right heel to the right, left heel to the left. Bring your right hand out to the right, onto the floor, palms up, into pentacle pose. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bend both knees. Walk your feet in just enough so that you can bring the bottom of your feet together. Let your knees fall wide into Supta Baddha Konasana pose. And bring your right hand just below your navel. Bring your left hand to your heart. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly bring your knees up to touch. Continue keeping your knees touching. And take your left foot out to the edge of your left of your mat, left edge of your mat. Your right foot out to the right edge of your mat, both knees touching. Bring your arms out to a T. And then slowly begin to bring both of your knees over to your right. Take a deep breath in. Fill up all the way. As you exhale, slowly begin to bring your knees up to touch again. Feet are wide, knees are touching. And then slowly make the transition over to your left, allowing both knees to drop over to your left. Take a deep breath in. Slowly bring your knees back up to touch. Bring your feet into touch. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a gentle little squeeze. And keep your right knee in. Allow your left leg to extend out all the way onto your mat. Now lower the bottom of your right foot onto your mat. Reach your right hand out to the right. Take your left hand on the outside of your right knee and just bring it over a little bit to your left. This is just to waken up the side of your glute and bring it back down. We'll switch sides. Bring your left knee in. Extend your right leg out. Slowly lower the bottom of your left foot. Take your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Just give it a little bit of a pull over to your right. Give me a little stretch on the outside of your left glute. Then come back to neutral. Bring your knees together, feet together. Allow both knees to drop over to your left. Open your arms up to a T. Now from here, we're going to extend the top leg straight out as far as you can extend it. And we're going to just slide the bottom knee back, the bottom foot back as far as you can get it. Sort of like a running position. Using the weight of our right arm to keep our right shoulder from lifting. But if it does, that's okay. We're restoring everything. Remember, a scale of 1 to 10, 2 and 3 is good. Just enough to feel. Stay tuned into your breath. That's your anchor. That's what restores our ability to stay present. This is what restorative yoga is all about. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly bring your bottom knee towards your left knee. Bring both knees together. Come back up into neutral. Let's get grounded into neutral. Take a deep breath in as you exhale. Allow both knees and legs to drop over to your right. Begin to extend your left leg out. And then walk your right foot back, kind of like in that running position, but your Shoulders are somewhat grounded onto your mat. The weight of your left arms, allowing your left shoulder to stay down. It will lift. Now take a deep breath in, bring your knees together, bring your legs together all the way up to neutral. Come on over onto your left side. We'll press our way up into seated. And use that blanket as much as you want for your sit bones. I'm going to be facing head on now, and if you don't have blocks, it's okay, but I'm going to use them because they are pretty handy in this type of pose called caterpillar. And all I'm going to do is bring my knees together, resting on the block or a bolster, any kind of rest. Bringing the knees in close. Bring your upper arm bones back. Bring your hands on your knees. Close your eyes. And slowly begin to walk your hands over your knees, down your shins. Folding onto your thighs. And if it's too much here, again, remember that scale. We can always prop up onto a higher end of the block or bring your knees up higher. And without blocks, it would look like this. So we're going to fold forward. Bringing your knees together, bringing your hands as close to your feet as you can get them. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly begin to walk your hands up your knees. And move the blocks off to the side. And bring your blanket or towel, whatever you're using, up to the front. Come all the way onto your pelvis. Bring your hands on top of one another. Bring your chin onto your hands. And we're going to go for a half frog here. So take your left knee and slide it up the floor. Take your left cheek and turn your eyes to the right. It's called half frog. And just let the side of your head sink into your cushion. And if your knee doesn't slide up all the way level with your hip, that's fine. That's what's good about all yoga practices. Everything's fine. It's all good. It's the intention that usually counts more than anything here. And slowly take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, bring your chin to neutral As you begin to bring your right cheek on the mat, slide your left knee back, and then begin to move your right knee up level with your right hip, resting onto your right cheek. This is actually a really good pose in bed before you get up in the morning. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, slide your right knee back down. Bring your chin to neutral. Bring your arms, your palms into your armpits. Just come up into Cobra for a moment as we shift up into table. Keep the blanket up there in the front. And from table, we are going to go up higher than we've been. This is as high as we're going to get to, into downward facing dog. But the only reason we're doing that is because of the next pose we're going to go into, which is half pigeon. So keep your knees soft. Slowly bring your right knee towards your right wrist. And as you do that, bring your right foot out to the left. And then slowly begin to slide your left foot back. And here's a good place if you have a bolster or a big thick blanket to come right down on it. I'm going to use the mat because I'm pretty flexible in the hips, but we all have our variations here. So whatever you have, allow your head to come to rest. So you're folding completely on top of your right thigh with your diaphragm into half pigeon. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, begin to walk your hands. Press your palms. Roll just a little bit onto your right thigh. See if you can bring the heel of your right foot up a little bit and connect your left knee to your right heel, like that. Then walk your hands out where you were before, and then begin to walk both hands over to your right as far as you can walk them, and then come down all the way onto anything that's available. in. As you exhale, press your hands up. Walk them back to center. And come back through table. And you can go to half pigeon on the other side from table if you prefer. I find it gives you a little more space and room to lift the sit bones up first. And then bring the left knee to your left wrist. Then swing the left foot out. Then shuffle your right knee back. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, begin to come out of half pigeon. Using your hands, your palms. And kind of roll over onto your left thigh. Just enough to move your left leg, your left heel up a little bit. And then begin to bring your right knee to your left heel. So they're connected. If they don't connect, that's okay, but just bring it as close as you can get them. And then begin to walk both of your hands to your far left. And when you can't go any further, come all the way down. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bring your palms to the ground, press yourself up. Begin to walk your hands back to center. And then walk both knees back. Come onto our elbows into a variation of cobra. And again, if this is a little too much, we just lower down. You could even come on to your hands if you prefer. But the higher your shoulders are, the more stress in a positive way to your lower back to release some of the synovial fluid that's in your joints. in all of our joints. Okay, let's press ourselves up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Lift up in through table. Bring your knees wide. Bring your big toes together. And let's just return where we began and see the difference in child's pose. Maybe on this child's pose, we definitely want our forehead resting. Let's bring our arms to the outside of our legs. And the palms would face up. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly begin to rise up at your own pace. And we'll come to seated. And let's keep our eyes closed. Bring our palms up. And just do a scan from the top of our head, base of our neck, into our shoulders. Total restoration here on the joints of our body, even our digestive system. This practice is fantastic for all of what goes into our digestion because of the stretching. Well, that concludes today's practice. I hope you can take some of this with you. Eagle Creek members, I'm so thankful that you were able to join me in this practice. It kind of complements the other classes I do, which are power classes. This is all about restoration, cultivating the skill to rest and digest. My name is Phil Grear, if you haven't had my class before. And I will be doing other classes, hopefully. I sometimes overlap. I teach yin yoga, which overlaps with restorative yoga tremendously. It is different, though, because in yin, typically you're trying to find an edge where, let's say on that scale of 1 to 10, 10 is the pain, and 1, you don't feel anything. Yin, you're actually trying to get to that point, maybe like a 5, and then you back away from it. Whereas restorative yoga is a little milder, where we're looking for 2, 3 maybe, and so you're still feeling, but it's a little more relaxing. So if you sometimes think that it's not quite 100% restorative, it's just because of that yin influence there. So I appreciate feedback. Anybody would like to go on AOL, Phil Grear, PhilGrear, at AOL.com. For any questions, I'll be free to answer them for you. I hope you all have a great week. This is a great day to do a restorative class because it's rainy outside. But let's take our palms together, take our thumbs to our third eye. As we bow, we say namaste. Thank you so much.